Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk. My name is James, and I started this show talking about the murder of Samantha Woll. I will continue to do so every weekday to help keep her story in the media. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate it. It helps spread the word about this horrific murder. A little bit about me. I have many years' experience in investigations and court reporting, law research, and I've conducted classes on interrogation techniques and deception detection techniques as well. I've done undercover assignments as a private investigator and while in the military. Now, here's a summary of the case at hand. Samantha Woll, a 40-year-old single woman from Detroit, was brutally stabbed to death at her residence. At 6:30 Saturday morning, October 21st, 2023, a neighbor called 911 to report a body laying on the sidewalk in the 1300 block of Juliet Place in the Lafayette Park area of Detroit. Police arrived and determined the woman was stabbed to death from multiple stab wounds, and a trail of blood led from the location of the body to the inside of her residence, where police determined the body or the murder had taken place. Now, the victim had then stumbled outside and fell to the ground where she was found. There was no sign of forced entry, and police immediately ruled out a hate crime motive. Sources have said that there were no defensive wounds on Miss Wool. Now, Samantha Wool was the president of the Downtown Synagogue of Detroit and was extremely politically active. She recently served as the political director for Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel's reelection campaign and also worked as a deputy district director for U.S. Representative Slotkin from Michigan. Now, on Wednesday, November 8th, police made an arrest of an unnamed suspect who reportedly knew Miss Wool and attended her funeral. Now, this arrest was made in Kalamazoo, and the detectives were already watching this person and made the arrest or the detainment in Kalamazoo. And en route to Detroit, the suspect was arrested and he invoked his rights to uh, no longer answer questions and requested an attorney. Now, under Michigan law, after 72 hours after an arrest, you must either charge a person or release them. And on Friday, November 10th, he was released without being charged and also without being named. Crime Stoppers has issued a $15,000 reward tip for leading to the arrest of this murder. And actually, let me put the banner up there showing. Here you go. That shows the number where to contact Crime Stoppers. Um, Now, it's assumed the detectives are following a domestic violence type motive. They have not released information in regards to the murder. They are keeping some evidence close knit and in house, and just because it's something only the suspect and the police would know about. Now, the police chief had a meeting with the police commissioners just the other day and answered questions in regards to Samantha Wool's murder. Um, he was adamant about it not being a hate crime, still is. It does not have any evidence thus far to indicate differently. Now, what that evidence is, they are not releasing. So, but again, yeah, White says law enforcement are being very, very careful, quote unquote, about what information they share with the public amid the investigation. Now, things to note, her cell phone and wallet were present on her, so it was not a robbery. And again, there was no forced entry into the residence, and there was no defensive wounds on her body, but had multiple stab wounds. Now, that indicates it was a very personal thing, and it was a person that was close to her because she had no guard up, didn't have any defensive wounds. So it just seems suspicious. And I can understand why, just from the evidence that's being released, why they are saying it is a domestic violence type motive. Now, that is all that we have. Um, he had a conference yesterday and did not release any other information. Uh, and so, yes, in the chat, Thomas says, "Hello, James. Hello, Thomas. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming." And a random thrifter said, "There's another murder case of Devin Hoover." Yes, that is correct. It's Dr. Hoover was, I believe, murdered in his home back in April. And again, I believe the police chief answered questions about they would have an update, and he had said flippantly by the first snow they would have an update. Well, it has already snowed, and one of his answers was saying that he said probably he would have an answer, and he said, with Michigan, it could be snowing in June. So it was rather uh, a poor timing on the remarks that he made. But again, that's all we know. Um, and the one thing that interests me or piques my sixth sense, my investigation sense, is that nobody has talked about the murder weapon. The media has not questioned the police or posed questions to the police chief about the murder weapon. Was it a knife that was brought to the scene? Was it a knife from Miss Woll's kitchen? Do they have the murder weapon? Do they have fingerprints? Um, None of those questions were asked, nor were they offered. So it is interesting. They are keeping many things tight-lipped, and so hopefully soon. I mean, probably what's going to happen is they're going to make another arrest and charge a person. Hopefully, that's wishful thinking, but that is how it's going to play out. I don't think they will offer any other information about what evidence is available. Now, again, this is December 1st. This happened in October, and yes, Dr. Hoover, his murder happened in April. I know the clearance rate for homicides in Detroit is dismal. I believe it's below 50%. Um, and I believe it's lower than national average. I I don't well, I'm not going to try to guess on why they are not solving the crimes. Um, I don't know, but this murder is just it's piqued my attention. It is uh, horrific. The persons that were acquainted with Miss Wool politically have not really came out and said anything, have not uh, uh, mentioned it in their daily briefings, and I'm talking representatives, senators, uh, state senators, and it's so I am doing this show because of that, in spite of their lack of acknowledging that this took place. And the only way that it'll keep fire under their butts is to continue to question them, ask them, "Hey, what is going on with this murder?" So, and the only way that's going to happen is if you share this video and with your friends and on platforms, and yes, and keep asking questions. So this is Friday. I will do this show every weekday, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. until this person is brought to justice. So I thank you again, Thomas, for coming and Random Thrifter. I appreciate you coming in and watching this. Um, excuse me, but yes, the only way to keep this alive, this investigation from being swept under the rug, is to share it and to talk about it. So if you can, please share this out. Uh, Share it with your friends and keep it alive. So until Monday, everyone, have a good evening.